let's talk about performance anxiety. Let's talk about how to fix it and mechanisms to get over it. We have launched our new formula called Bold. It is designed to fix performance anxiety. Performance anxiety is that situation where I'm nervous, my body is fine, there's nothing wrong with me, there's nothing wrong with my health, but for this particular woman or this particular circumstance, the old boy downstairs doesn't want to rise to the occasion. What is that? That is a nervousness problem. That is a prefrontal cortex, like overactivity problem. And what we've formulated with Bold is we've designed it to increase one particular hormone in your body. That one particular hormone is actually 10 times as androgenic as testosterone. A lot of guys are kind of misinformed about the role that testosterone specifically plays in their body and their overall health and well-being. And they miss this other hormone. They miss this hormone called DHT, dihydroxy testosterone. DHT is 10 times as androgenic as testosterone itself. It contributes to a lot of masculine traits, masculine features. So guys with high DHT, for example, have a higher sex drive. They have a deeper voice. They have a fuller beard. They grow more hair on their body. They have increased physical strength. They tend to have stronger jawlines too. These are all traits of somebody who has high DHT. And guys who grow up or in their prepubescent years, their teenage years, right? They have high levels of DHT. They tend to be the guys who have these very, very masculine features and masculine traits about them. And unfortunately, if you didn't win the genetic lottery, or more likely, if you had a compromised nutrition, compromised diet when you were growing up, or you were exposed to some environmental toxins, you're exposed to a lot of estrogen-mimicking compounds, which we are all exposed to in the modern day, modern world, then your DHT levels were suppressed when you were going through puberty, and you might not have developed as strong of a jawline, as strong of a beard, as deeper a voice. You might not be naturally as, this is the important part, you might not be naturally as confident or as calm under stress as that guy you can imagine right now in your head. Like that dude you went through the high school with, like the guy who was like the jock, or the dude who ended up becoming, a fighter, or he ended up becoming like a CEO. He ended up being like super rich and successful. What are all these kind of guys who are high degree of success, or most guys would perceive just visually looking at them as being very manly and masculine? The thing they all have in common is one, a ability to tolerate stress. And that ties into, two, they have higher levels of DHT. Something that was very, very common and very clear from day one. When I was working in porn, the more dudes I met and I sort of looked at what these guys have in common, what traits they have in common, what's their diet like, what's their exercise regime like, what's the common denominating factor amongst guys who are able to, let's say, perform under high stress circumstances. Porn is one of those circumstances. It's not a noble one, but being able to get a boner in front of a room full of people whose paychecks depend upon you getting a boner is a high stress circumstance. What is the common denominating factor there? High DHT, without a doubt. High DHT levels was the factor amongst all these guys. Higher levels of DHT make you very resilient to stress. And that's kind of the thing I want to try and drill home for you guys here. You can be cool, calm, collected, relaxed under high pressure scenarios. The scenario might not even be high pressure, but you perceive it to be high pressure, right? So you put all this anxiety on yourself. Makes you more confident. Guys who walk around and strut around with a bit of swagger. Think of Conor McGregor, right? Picture Conor McGregor, like the way he swaggers into the ring. That is a man who has incredibly high levels of DHT. I fucking guarantee that man has high levels of DHT. And obviously, the ability to get a boner. I don't think I've ever met a guy who fought as an amateur or professionally. I'm talking about guys who are boxers, MMA fighters, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, Muay Thai guys. I know a few of them, and I've never ever heard a single one complain about performance anxiety, about having problems getting a boner in the bedroom. Not one of them has ever reported that issue to me. And I fucking guarantee it's because they've all got super high levels of DHT. Because DHT is the hormone that produces these very masculine traits, but it also produces that calm confidence in a man. Think back to, the Battle of Hastings, where the Normans are invading England, and you've got two armies facing off against each other. The guys who are on the front row of the army, cool, calm, nerves of steel, or the guys who are about to go over the trenches in World War I, the dudes who are calm and ready to meet their fate. Guarantee you those guys have high levels of DHT. Doesn't necessarily mean they have. Most guys think of that guy, that scenario, and they think, oh, he must have high testosterone. Maybe, perhaps, yes. But it's not. You can have high testosterone. If you have low DHT levels, you will be nervous in those scenarios. You will not have that cool, calm, collected confidence in the bedroom, that relaxed arousal that will not exhibit if you have low DHT levels. And that is precisely what we have formulated this supplement, Bold. We've specifically designed it to help increase your DHT levels, to help give you that cool, calm, collected confidence that allows you to relax, be in control, have a calm state of arousal in the bedroom. And look, lo and behold, this stuff translates across into your everyday life. I just happen to deal with men's sexual health problems first and foremost, and so we formulate things for that specifically, but it does not mean that is the only realm of your life that it is going to affect, because when you have higher DHT levels, you're going to have overall more confidence and a greater ability to tolerate stress in any realm of your life. Also, having higher DHT levels helps to reduce your levels of things like estrogen, helps to reduce things like prolactin, helps to reduce things like cortisol. And the big one, obviously, a stressful hormone in your body. Now, the elephant in the room that I know a lot of guys will be thinking about as I'm talking about DHT, right? DHT has gotten a bad rap. A lot of guys associate having higher levels of DHT with going bald. If you look at some of the most successful porn stars on the planet, quite a few of them are actually bald. I'm not going to say your thinking is wrong. However, DHT is not the thing that causes male pattern baldness. It's not the thing that causes, hair loss or whatever. I mean, me in particular, I still grow hair. I just have what's called a widow's peak. I don't have like a bald patch. I have just a receding hairline. Slightly different thing. However, that DHT is not the only thing that causes that. There's a multitude of things that contribute to you actually having like hair loss and bald spots and stuff. One of them is a genetic predisposition to that. That is one. Stress levels, having higher levels of cortisol, adrenaline, all like stress hormones in particular, can reduce the hair follicle size. Toxicity exposure, in particular, endocrine disruptors, things in your environment, things in your diet, poisonous chemicals, all the things that are in modern shampoos are actually not very good for your hair. I know I sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist, a bit of a tinfoil hat guy here, but if you've looked into this stuff as long as I have, and I actually have no qualms with having no hair, by the way, I don't give a shit, but I know guys do. There's a lot of stuff that is in modern shampoos that is not actually good for having healthy, long-lasting hair. And a poor diet is also a big contributing factor to eventual hair loss. So DHT is not the be-all, end-all of male pattern baldness or receding hairlines or hair loss or whatever. If you are worried about that problem, if you have everything else in check, then that is not something to worry about at all. There are several ways that you can increase your DHT levels quite naturally. These are the things that we have included and added into this formulation for our new supplement Bold. Things like Tribulus Terrestis that can increase your DHT levels. It is very pro-GABA, very relaxing. GABA is another relaxing neurotransmitter. We've got things like Theanine. Again, very pro-GABA, calming neurotransmitter, stops you from overthinking in the moment. We've got things like vitamin B1. We've got things like Apogenin, which is another relaxing thing, but it also helps your body to prevent the breakdown of DHT. which would lead to you getting into a stressed state. We've got things like lithium orotate, which is also used for reducing adrenaline. Very, very effective at doing that. You've got things like vitamin B3, niacinamide, that also increases your DHT levels as well. So there's numerous ingredients in this formula bowl that are all contributing to 2 or 3 key hormonal influences on you. One is increasing DHT, one is increasing GABA, and one is reducing things like cortisol, reducing that stress hormone. So all of the ingredients involved do exactly that.